Hi, I'm Phil Hall for Tech Radar and we're here in London to take a look at Sony's latest premium compact camera, the RX100 Mark VI. So let's dive in. So perhaps the biggest news on the RX100 Mark VI is that new zoom lens. It's got a 24 to 200mm zoom lens with a variable maximum aperture of f2.8 to 4.5. That's quite a bit longer than the 24-70 lens used by the RX100 Mark V. This may disappoint some with a slower variable maximum aperture than the RX100 Mark V, but it's allowed Sony to keep the proportions pretty much identical to its predecessor. In fact, it's only 1.8mm thicker than the RX100 Mark V. The pop-up electronic viewfinder now has an automated extending mechanism. This might not seem a big deal, but actually in use, it makes it much more enjoyable to use. We've been crying out for a touchscreen on an RX100 series camera, and in the Mark VI version, Sony's finally delivered. We've got tap focus and tap shutter, but that's pretty much it. You can't use it to navigate any menu system, so that's a little bit disappointing. So, as well as the touchscreen functionality, the screen can actually be tilted down 90 degrees, whereas the old model was only 45 degrees. So that makes it just a bit more flexible for various different shooting scenarios. Inside, there's a 20.1 megapixel 1-inch sensor. The burst rate is an impressive 24 frames a second, with the buffer extended over the previous model from 150 shots to 233 shots. There's 4K video on the RX100 Mark VI and there's also HDR compatibility. However, there's no built-in microphone jack, so this might be a bit of a restriction to vloggers, leaving you to rely on the built-in microphone. So what's the RX100 Mark VI like to use? Well, it's a similar issue to previous RX100 cameras. There's no getting away from the fact there's a wealth of features available here, but it's just a little bit cumbersome to use. On the front, you've got the control ring that you can use to set aperture and shutter speed, while at the back there's a four-way control wheel, but that's about your only key points of contact with the controls of the RX100. There's some customizable buttons, but it can be a bit of a faff to use. The touchscreen is certainly welcome here with the RX100 Mark VI, but overall the camera could do with a bit more customization. It's just not quite as engaging as some rival cameras out there. The focusing system in the RX100 Mark VI is one of the best around, and that goes for any camera. The 315-point phase detect system is incredibly sophisticated. It'll happily track subjects moving around the frame, while the eye AF system is a real treat for portrait photographers. It will happily track an eye around the frame until you're happy to shoot. So what's the image quality like? Well, there's no nasty surprises with the sensor from the RX100 Mark VI, as it's pretty much identical to that of the RX100 Mark V. It delivers really nice images with plenty of detail. It's not going to rival an APS or full-frame camera, but for a pocket-sized compact, you're not going to be disappointed. ISO performance is very good as well. It's only above ISO 800 that you really start to see the image start to degrade. But even at 3200 and 6400, you'll walk away with shots you can be happy with. Dynamic range on the RX100 Mark VI is also very good. It's possible to pull back a decent amount of detail in post-processing, while there's a D-range optimizer for JPEG shooting as well. Sony's done really well with the new 24 to 200mm lens. Okay, the variable maximum aperture isn't as fast as its predecessor, but at 70mm, it's only about a stop slower at f4 compared to 2.8 on the RX100 Mark V. At 200mm, it's easy to defocus the background at 4.5, so you shouldn't have any issues there, especially if you're going to be shooting portraits. As far as quality goes, it appears to be very sharp with minimal distortion and vignetting. There's no question that the RX100 Mark VI is one of the most advanced, if not the most advanced compact cameras out there. It's just a shame it's a little bit cumbersome to use now and again. For our full review, keep it locked to Tech Radar. Thanks for watching.